Good morning. Good morning. I hear all the little buzzing and the liveliness this morning. And I see some folks wore costumes. That's wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. Whether you are here for the first time today, or whether you have been here hundreds or even thousands of times, we're so glad that you're joining us this morning for our Halloween service. What fun. Special welcome to the folks that are joining us on Zoom today, joining us virtually, and they are over there on that camera on the sidewall, or that's where they can see us anyway. We're glad that you're joining us as well and are part of our community. My name is Christina Church, and I have the pleasure and the privilege of serving this wonderful congregation as your minister. As we get started today, there are yellow caring cards. If you would care to fill one out, there will be a time when we share our joys and sorrows with one another. So if you have something that's happening in your life that you would like to share, we invite you to do so. And there are also green cards. If you are new, we invite you to fill one of those out so that we can keep in touch with you and let you know what's going on in our community. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get started.
Let's all sing this together. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
As we settle into our time together this morning, our call to worship is some words, especially for this occasion, by the Reverend Christian Schmidt. No matter who or what you are today, you are welcome here. Let's be clear. Here we welcome goblins and we welcome ghouls. We welcome saints and sinners. We welcome angels and devils. We welcome zombies and werewolves and vampires and, of course, witches. We welcome princesses and princes and paupers and farmhands and aliens and astronauts. We welcome robots and we welcome cyborgs. Firefighters and police officers, nurses and doctors, cowboys, cowgirls, and cowfolk of all varieties are welcome here. We welcome Superman, Wonder Woman, Black Panther, Batman, Spider-Man, Black Widow, and Thor. Yes, indeed, we welcome superheroes and superstars. In short, we welcome people, we welcome monsters, and all other manner of creatures. So, Here, we will always welcome you and all of who you are and what you are. So welcome, welcome. Let us begin.
We light our chalice today for our UU values. Justice demands that the light shines on, and equity says each should receive the blessings of community in the unique ways right for them. Interdependence reminds us we're not separate beings, but an interwoven web of connected threads. And pluralism says we need all voices, all our glorious differences to create beloved community. Transformation asks that we always seek to learn and grow in understanding and commitment. And generosity calls us to share our gifts to nourish others by. And finally, love, our central value, brings all the others to life. May our chalice warm our hearts and light up our minds during our time together today. Please join in singing our opening hymn, number 1020, Wai-O-Ya.
Please rise. This is a very singy, dancey hymn, so feel free to add some claps or other things. We've got some extra percussion here. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know within, and we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, but the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah,
All right, well, we have a very special time for all ages today about a witch who kind of doesn't know where she's going a lot of the time, so that's why we sang "Well, yeah, yeah" to help her along. And I want to introduce our Director of Religious Education, Daisy the Clown, also known as Colleen Taylor, on other days of the year, to tell us more about this story.
The story, come on over here, is called Room on the Broom, and it is adapted from a storybook written by Julia Donaldson. I'd like to introduce you, though, first to the wind. Pivotal role in the story. Places, everyone.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I need my script.
Oh, that would help.
I forgot mine too.
That could have been bad.
I didn't know that. Where is it?
Live theater. You never know what's going to happen.
Okay, we're ready now.
All right. Is everybody ready? Room on the Broom. Now, this is a story about a witch and her friends and how there should always be room on the broom. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black, and long ginger hair in a braid down her back.
Oh, how my cat purred. And how I did grin as we sat on the broomstick and flew through the wind.
But how the witch wailed, and how I sure spat when the wind blew so wildly, it blew off the hat.
Oh! Down, I cried out, and we flew to the ground, and we searched for the hat, but no hat could be found.
Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. Doesn't have his lines.
I dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head. I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?
Yes, I replied, and the dog clambered on. And I tapped on the broomstick, and whoosh, we were gone.
Over the fields and the forest we flew. I wagged my tail and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held onto her hat, but away blew the flower from her braid, just like that.
Okay. Down, I cried out, and we flew to the ground. We searched for that flower, but no flower could be found. Have you seen it?
Then out from a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with the bow in its beak.
I dropped it politely and bent my head low, then said, as the witch tied her braid in the flower, I am a bird as blue as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?
Oh, yes, I replied, and we all clambered on. And I tapped on the broomstick, and whoosh, we were gone. Woo!
Over the reeds and the rivers we flew. I shrieked with glee as the stormy wind blew. We shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand.
Oh! Down, I cried out. And we flew back to the ground. And we searched for that wand, but no wand could be found. Have you seen a wand?
Then all of a sudden, out from a pond leaped a dripping wet frog with the dripping wet wand.
I dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her cloak, I am a frog as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?
Yes, I responded, and the frog bounded on. And I tapped on that broomstick, and whoosh, we were gone.
Over the moors and the mountains we flew. I jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in.
Oh, no! Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into the bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary.
I am a dragon, a bearded dragon at that. As mean as can be, and which with French fries tastes delicious to me.
No, I cried out, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after me, breathing out fire. Help, I cried, flying down to the ground. I looked all around, but no help could be found.
The dragon drew near with a glint in his eye.
I said just this once, I'll have witch without fries. But just as I planned to begin on my feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, and sticky. Tall, yes, tall. And feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to me, "Boys off! That's my way!" I drew back and I started to shake. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," I spluttered. I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly. And I spread out my wings and I was off through the sky.
Then down flew the bird and jumped down the frog. Down climbed the cat and phew, said the dog.
Oh, thank you, I gratefully cried. Without you in that dragon's inside. Then I filled up my cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone. Put something in."
So the frog found a lily. The cat found a cone. The bird found a twig. And the dog found a bone. And they threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell.
Ziggity, zaggity, zoggity, zoom.
Then out rose a truly magnificent broom. With seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird and a pool for the frog. And they all said yes. Yes! Yes, they cried out, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. The end.
All right, take a bow, everybody.
And so I wonder, is there any more room on that broom, you think? Is that the last person they're going to pick up? I don't think so either.
All right. How did you like that story? Yeah? Me too. And so after the high, raucous energy of that story, we're going to come into a time of silence and of centering. So this is a time when we can get in touch with what's on our hearts, to center ourselves in the moment, and to hold each other in love and compassion, which we do every Sunday and hopefully all the time. So let's take just a moment or two to center in silence. Some of the sorrows that are on our hearts in the community this morning are expressions of loss and care. Lori shares that Wendy is having knee surgery on Tuesday, and that good thoughts are appreciated. Our hearts are with Wendy and with you, Lori. Kat Holtz shares a sorrow that Kat would like to share thoughts that about Cheryl Sprecher on the loss of her beloved cat, the doctor. Oh, I'm sorry. Cheryl Spore. Sorry about your loss, Cheryl. Sorry about the doctor. And Anne would like to share that Anne is thinking of a friend, Bob Burford, and all of his friends and family who will be missing him. We're very sorry for your loss, Anne. We also have some sharings from our virtual community today. Becky shares that she's feeling very anxious about the election, and I'm sure she is not the only one who's feeling that anxiety today. So we hold that anxiety in love. And won't you join me now in a time of prayer? Spirit of life, we know that there are many griefs and many losses moving through the community today, and much anxiety about the future of our community, of our country. And we hold all of those folks in love and in care as we hope and work for the best possible outcome. We also hold in care today all the folks that are celebrating, all the folks that are excited, all the folks that are looking forward to the holiday season ahead. And as we take on new identities during these Halloween festivities and holiday, we think of those who are forced to wear a mask, who don't feel safe in their true identities, who don't feel safe expressing themselves with loved ones, with their community. And we hold all of us who are not feeling safe to reveal all of who we are. And we vow to be a community where all can bring all of who they are and be welcomed and feel a sense of belonging. So for all these things that are moving through our community today, as well as those that remain in the silence of our hearts that we're not quite ready to share yet, we're grateful. Amen. And it is our practice to end with joy. And so we will end with some joys that we are happy to share with you. Megan shares that seeing the fall displays and the Halloween decorations in the neighborhood is bringing joy this year. Yes, it's fun and I love it too. Vivian shares that Heidi Sumser had the honor of her work being read at the Hiram President's inauguration. Heidi, who is our worship associate, also known as a 90s mixed tape, I believe today, we're so glad to celebrate that with you this morning. How wonderful. And finally, Dana shares joy for the many good wishes and offers of help and friendship as she begins her treatment for breast cancer. So, Dana, we are with you on that journey, and I'm so glad that so many people have reached out in love and care. We love you. For all these joys and all these sorrows, and all those that are in the silence of our hearts, as companions on the journey, we're here to witness and to hold you in our hearts and to care for each of us through all the ups and downs on this journey of life.
This reading is by Starhawk, the UU pagan leader, author, practitioner of magic. I am a witch, by which I mean that I am somebody who believes that the earth is sacred and that women and women's bodies are one expression of that sacred being. The word witch carries so many negative connotations that many people wonder why we use the word at all. Yet to reclaim the word witch is to reclaim our right as women to be powerful, as men to know the feminine within as divine. Witchcraft offers the model of poetry, not theology. It presents metaphors, not doctrine, and leaves open the possibility of reconciliation of science and religion, of many ways of knowing. When we practice magic, we are always making connections, moving energy, identifying with other forms of being. Magic could be called the applied science that is based on an understanding of how energy makes patterns and patterns direct energy. Witchcraft is fun. It offers us a chance to play, to act silly, to let the inner child come out. Out of foolishness and play, creativity is born.
Our reflection hymn is a song written by one of our fellow UU music directors that helps us remember these values that we have recently instilled. Who recognizes our friend? It's Jet Pig! Woo, Jet Pig! So we've got a song to sing together so that we can remember Jet Pig. Here's the chorus. Here we go. What makes you a true you? Love at the core of what you do. We commit to work as a team to make our values more than a dream. Jet Pig helps us keep in mind 6 values that UUs have defined. Here's the first 3. Justice. Justice means we make things fair. We vote, speak out, and act with care. Equity is when everyone gets what they need for work and fun. Transformation means we change, and we can still grow at every age. What makes you a true you? Love at the core of what you do. We commit to work as a team to make our values more than a dream. Jet Pig helps us keep in mind 6 values that UUs have defined. Pluralism is how we say we know there's not just one right way. Interdependence means we're connected, so our earth and its people are respected. Generosity is the last we can learn to share before we're asked. What makes you a true you? Love at the core of what you do. We commit to work as a team to make our values more than a dream. Jet Pig helps us keep in mind 6 values that UUs have defined. Thanks, friends.
Yay. Yeah, people are making up some new songs to share Jet Pig on a wider basis. So, Room on the Broom is a story that my son and I used to watch over and over again when he was little. It's actually an animated short movie starring Gillian Anderson as the witch, which is really fun. And it was one of the few animated movies that I never got tired of. There were a lot of them that we had to watch over and over, and if you spend time around kids, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, a lot of repetition there. But this one I just always enjoyed, and it always seemed fresh and new to me every single time that we watched it. So when we talked about doing Room on the Broom as our Halloween story, our Halloween skit, I thought, why not? It's a fun story about a really delightful witch who always says yes to life, and how you is that, right? We're aware of the persecution of women who were identified as witches through the centuries in Europe and the land that eventually became the United States. And we know now that wise women, women who were healers, women who were powerful or independent or unmarried, or who simply veered away from gender norms or behavioral norms in their cultures, we know that these women were targeted both by resentful individuals and by entire systems of patriarchal and theocratic control. We'll never know how many thousands lost their lives, how many more lost property or livelihood or status in the communities that they previously lived in and in many cases served as midwives or herbalists or leaders in other aspects of community life. In the light of this sad truth and the continuing misogyny in our society that in many ways still denies women and gender non-binary folk safety, agency, and freedom, in the light of continuing marginalization by some in the dominant culture who practice of all those who practice a different faith than conservative Christianity, well, it's a subversive action to simply present a grown woman, a mature woman, a practitioner of magic who appears to be single and child-free, who's happy, joyful, generous, kind, who lives her life with zest and finds friends wherever she goes. That would be enough, wouldn't it? That would be enough of a message. That in itself makes a great theological lesson for us. It upholds our values about the dignity and worthiness of every single person. But as we dug into this story while we were planning, we realized it's not only great because of its fabulously witchy main character, which I got to play today, but Room on the Broom is actually something that contains, a story that contains all of the newly expressed UU values that we just sang about, that we covenant to uphold and affirm together. So that's why we had our chalice lighting today, done by our scary dragon, about our values, and why we sang a song about Jet Pig. So we can get more familiar with those values together with the help of Jet Pig. And because this is kind of new for all of us, and this story will kind of help us dig into those values a little bit. So I'm going to get us started with the first one. Let's go backwards today. So I don't know, just like we did Jet Pig forward twice. So now let's go backwards and do Giptej, okay? The neat thing is that these are in any order, right? Jet Pig just makes it easy to remember, but there's not one that's the beginning one or the end. There's not one way to do them. So let's start with generosity. Would you say that this witch in this story embodies the value of generosity? Yeah, right? And she's like, I don't exactly know where I'm going, and I'm a little disorganized with my stuff, and, you know, things keep blowing away, but hey, there's room for all of us. I don't know how we're going to find room, but come on in and we'll figure it out. So our new statement of values actually says, we covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, our presence, and our resources. So she's a great role model for that. Here's another one that we can try together. I is for, very good, interdependence, right? And our statement, part of our statement says, we will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, of mutuality and justice. And would you say that the relationships in this story are about care and respect, about mutuality and justice? Yeah, right? The creatures seem to care for each other. They care for the witch when she's in trouble. She cares for them and invites them into her home, her flying home. Okay, so next one is pluralism, P for pluralism. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. And I think I really see pluralism in the spell that they do together, right? The spell. Does anyone have thoughts about that? You can just shout out and I'll repeat them so people can hear. Yeah, everybody gave something different, right? Thank you, Dana. So if it would have been all pine cones or all lilies or all bones, maybe the spell wouldn't have worked, right? It's that diversity, the different ideas that made the spell work perfectly. And that brings us to T, which is transformation. Yeah, and there's certainly transformation, right? Where do you see transformation in the story? The broom gets transformed, right? The broom gets transformed into a place that's the right home for all of them, the right traveling home. Yeah, and transformation, part of our statement in our values is, it says, we adapt to the changing world, which they certainly did. We covenant to collectively transform and to grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. So it's about transforming our culture like the witch was able to do with the spell, and it's also about being willing to be transformed ourselves. So I think they all get transformed by the relationships that they create together, right? All right, let's try another one. E is for equity, yeah. It says, we covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. So where do you see equity in the story? The new broom, right? That is such a cool broom because it's not like, oh, there's the same kind of chair for everybody, right? Some people sit well in chairs, but other people need a nest or other people need a pool, right? So this broom has it all. It has a place for everyone that is just right for their body and accessible to all the critters that are living on that broom. And finally, J is for justice. Yeah, and there's a big, exciting scene with justice, right? Our values say that we will work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all can thrive, and we will dismantle all forms of systemic oppression. What kind of oppression was going on? Yeah, the dragon was just like wanting to eat everyone for lunch, right? With fries. Or chips, witch and chips, yeah. So, luckily, the critters were able to dismantle that oppression, right? Without even anybody getting hurt. So there was no violence in the story, but we hope that mean old dragon learned a lesson that day, yeah. So, and then these values are all brought together by love at the center, right? Love is that power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We're accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Do you see love in that story? I do too. And I love that story. I love that witch. So thank you for listening. I hope this has gotten you in the spirit of Halloween and the fun that is to be had this week, the good, spooky fun. Blessed Samhain, happy Halloween.
In the spirit of gratitude for all the gifts and blessings that our life has given us, we in turn share our gifts with the community. Our members and friends pledge annually to support the work of the congregation and may drop a check in the basket or pay online. We also give to agencies and organizations in Kent and beyond that serve those in need. Our special offering for the month of October is the Minister's Discretionary Fund. This is the fund we use to care for each other when times are hard. The Minister's Discretionary Fund is used to help our community within when one of us is in need. It is used to help purchase groceries or gas, pay unexpected bills, or soften the financial hardship of a difficult transition. You are welcome to place any gifts you may wish to offer in the baskets as they come to you. If you are giving to the MDF, please indicate special collection on the memo line or on the envelope. If you're a visitor, we have a small gift for you, a bookmark. Please take one from the basket. If you have filled out a yellow card with a joy or sorrow that you wish to share, place it in the basket or hold it up and we will come to you. Thank you for the gifts you give. You are a generous people. We also have our continuing special collection for the UU congregations and communities that have been devastated by the 2 autumn hurricanes' path through the southeastern U.S.
So this song has some words that you can join in on, and I hope that you will. And it speaks to how all of our animal friends, they needed to all give what they had to give for everything to work out well. So this invites you to give all the good that you have to give. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good
And now it's time to close our service with the extinguishing of the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and mind till we are together again.
And as we come to the end of our service today, we just want to share some brief announcements about things that are happening in the community. First off, the holiday giving tree is getting started. This is to buy gifts for children who are in foster care. The info will be outside the sanctuary doors, and Dana will be able to help you with that. We also have an information table in Fessenden today about the Thanks for Giving auction, and I believe Trudy will be there to help you learn more about that. We want to ask you to try and remember to bring a picture or a memento next week from an ancestor of yours or someone you consider a spiritual ancestor or an inspiration for our All Souls Remembrance Altar that we'll be creating. And finally, today there's a town hall immediately following the service here in the sanctuary. We'll probably take a brief break to get set up and then immediately go into the town hall. This is a chance for you to learn what's happening and for the board to share and hear from you as well. So, yes, thank you. And trunk or treat is in the parking lot today. How could I forget that? My gosh. So please join us for that as well. Finally, let us sing our closing hymn now. It's number 1018, Come and Go With Me.
Let's rise. In that land, there'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Where I'm bound, there'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. They'll be singing in that land. 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 Oh, where I'm bound, they'll be singing in that land. Oh, they'll be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land where I'm bound.
Blessed by our connections to one another and to the Spirit of life. Walk lightly so you see the life that is below your feet. Spread your arms as if you had wings or a broomstick and could dance or fly through the air. Feel the joy of breath in your lungs and that fire in your heart, just like our fiery dragon. Live to love and be a blessing on this earth. May you go in peace and in love.